Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to export stems from Logic and place them into Ableton Live. That's a question that I get a lot. How do you prepare your stems from Logic and put them into Ableton? You guys ask all the time, like, can you break down your process on how you do it? There's tons of videos on YouTube on how to do this, but this is my personal way of doing it, and it may be similar to how other people do it as well. So the session that we have today is Never Lost a Battle by CeCe Winans. We are doing this song on Sunday. I kind of changed the intro, came up with my own arrangement for the intro, and the rest of the song is the record. So I tracked everything out first. You guys that plan on doing this, I think it's easy for me to track everything out in Logic first and then transfer it over into Ableton. So let's say that we've done tracking everything out. Now it's time to get it prepared for Ableton. First thing that you're going to want to do is balance all of your levels. Make sure all of your levels is where they need to be at and where you want them to be at. As you can see, I've already done that. I've already got everything where I want it to be. Now we're going to start bouncing things out. So the concept of bouncing things out, we're going to be taking each group, such as loop is one group, aux is another group, maybe strings is another group, organ, Rhodes. We're going to take each loop and bounce it out. So we're going to loop it, get it at the correct cycle range. This is where this song ends at. So I'm going to solo the entire loop, Command B. Okay, so we're going to name this right here loop. The next thing we're going to do, we're going to create a folder that we can place all of these session files into. That way, when we go into Ableton, we can easily access all the files from this folder and transport it into the Ableton session. Organization is super important. So we're going to name it Never Lost CeCe. I think that's how you spell her name. Yeah, let's go with it. Then I like to put the BPM of the session as well. All right, we're going to name this one loop. So we're only bouncing out the loop right now. So at my church, we have a bass player and we have a drummer. So I don't need to worry about bouncing out these files right here. So actually I'm going to just delete them. The next section that we are going to bounce out, let's bounce out the pads next. So I'm going to place all the pads, and I'm even going to bounce the strings and pads together. Church wise, for me, I don't like to have a bunch of tracks within Ableton that I got to look at and I got to mix together. Like, I've already mixed them down. I like the volume of where they're at. So I like to bounce everything together, like all the pad stuff together. All right, so this is all the pad stuff. I'm going to let y'all hear what it sounds like. So that's a pad right there. So I'm bouncing the pad and the strings together. I'll name it pad / strings. Next thing we're gonna bounce together, we're gonna bounce the cymbal, the chime, and the bells together, since they're kind of similar. We're bouncing each section together. So we got loop, we got pad, we got auxiliary, and then we got bells we're bouncing together. The next two things we have to bounce together is going to be the Rhodes and the organ. So if you've ever brought multi-tracks or stems from any website like multitrack.com, or the other one is Loop Community, in these sessions everything is categorized, so you can take out what you don't need and you can keep what you need, and so on. At this point, we've bounced every category together. Now we're going to close out Logic. Now I'm going to open up Ableton Live. First, we're going to go over here. We're going to add a folder. So I actually never add my stem session folder. So my stem session folder is where I place the never lost session at. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to find it, and it's right here. So all of my files are right here. Everything that we bounced out, aux, guitar, bells, loop, organ, pad, Rhodes, and so on, is all right there. If you just did what I did and you don't have like an entire session folder, all you gotta do is just add the folder and it'll show up on this side over here. Notice that we set the BPM when we named the folder. That way, so the first thing when you get in Ableton that you want to do is you want to add that folder, then you want to come up here, change the BPM to 123, which is the BPM of the session. When you first open up Ableton, you're gonna have those either like a MIDI track and an audio track. You're gonna want to add the audio tracks that you need in order to import this stuff over here. So we have 2, 4, 6. So I have 6 audio tracks that I'm gonna need. Select everything in this folder. Then we're gonna drag it over. And as we drag it over to the one right here, we're gonna press Command, hold it, and then let go. What that does is put everything on the grid without having to drag everything in individually. So we got the aux, guitar, bells, loop, organ, pad, Rhodes, everything right there. So we can close that right there. We can put that down right there. So what we need to do with each wave file, we need to go through each one, press warp, unwarp, and warp again. So we need to warp all of these, and they're gonna warp to 123. Place warp on all of them. All right, once we're done warping them, let's press play and make sure everything lines up. All right, so everything is lining up. So we are halfway there. All right, I'm gonna press this right here and condense the sections. The next thing I'm gonna do is just go through and label each section of this song in arrangement mode. So we got this locator right here, and this is how we're gonna set locator marks for each section of the song. I'm not going to play the song because I'm gonna try to avoid getting a copyright strike. So hopefully, yeah, hopefully I don't get a copyright strike for this song, but let's see. All right, so the intro goes up until about 5.5 right there. So right here, we're gonna press set, and we're gonna start creating our markers for this song. So that's intro right there. The next thing we're gonna be doing, this is the verses right here. So the verses go for about 8 measures. All right, so this whole section right here is going to be the verse. Verse right there. This next section right here is the pre-chorus. Right here, press set again, double click it, rename pre-chorus. Right here is where the chorus starts. chorus. Name that right there. Then we're gonna go to the next section, slide this down. Back to the verses, set, rename it, name it verse. And we're just gonna be doing this throughout the whole entire section. So we are naming each part of this. So we have a course of direction. We are naming this pre-chorus. Hopefully this is making sense. I'm gonna go through and finish marking out this whole entire section again, and then we're gonna come back when I'm done. We are back. So I've gone through and I've marked out this entire section. As I've showed you before, how you mark out a section is you basically just go to the top, you take the loop part right there, you click on it, and you press set right here. It's a delete right there right now, but you'll just press set in the top right hand corner, and then you can right click the top of it and rename it, or press Command R and it renames it. So that is how we take a session from Logic, export it into stems, and place it into arrangement view into Ableton and make a whole stem session in Ableton. I hope that this video helps you out. If you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments. If you want further training on how to use Ableton, how I'm using Ableton, please send me an email. We can work something out, and I'm willing to help you guys as much as I can with Ableton. I know that it can be tricky at first, but yeah, please, if you have any questions in the comments, and if I can answer them, I will do that. Hope this video was helpful. Please hit that like button, subscribe. We out.